Hello, how are you? My name is Maza Haisilase and I'm mathematics teacher and mathematics tutor in different areas, or I can explain things using this channel, even solve any questions of mathematics using this channel. So you can write any comments, and please subscribe, share, and like to others. This is really helpful material, so please help me to subscribe to others. Okay, let's continue. As we have deal or have as we have seen different examples to check the continuity of a function on different types of intervals. So I brought, or I have bring two special examples that checked out whether you are going to understand or not for the last week a video. So this is the first example, which says which one of the following is the largest interval where the function f of x equals to square root of 1 minus x square is continuous. A open interval minus 1 up to 1, B closed interval minus 1 up to 1, C closed interval 1 up to infinity, D minus infinity up to minus 1 included, E minus infinity up to 1 included, in 1 included up to positive infinity. So which one is of these choices or alternatives, which one is the largest interval where the function this one is continuous? Okay, let's check it the largest interval. So the given function is f of x equals to square root of minus x squared. So this is square root. The expression under the square root should be greater than or equal to 0. Check out its domain. Then factorize this one. 1 minus x into 1 plus x should be greater than or equal to 0, which is solving using the sign chart. So as we have factorized, a sign chart at the upper line has the two types which has minus infinity and positive infinity. So I will be brought separately the first expression or the first factor 1 minus x. The second will be into the second row. Then the third row contains the product or the function itself. So as you know, sign chart looks like this one. Then this function or factorable function, it will be positive under this one from minus infinity to minus 1, and it is positive between minus 1 and 1. Again, minus 1 up to positive infinity. So the third one is it is the multiplication. Then the product plus minus is minus, plus plus is plus, then minus times plus is minus. So having this sign chart, we can calculate now the function is greater than or equal to 0 for those of the interval between minus 1 and 1, including the endpoints. Therefore, the largest interval where this function is continuous is the closed interval between minus 1 and 1, which means that the answer is B. The answer is B. Then checking for largest interval instance, which is indirectly are going to be checking the domain of the function. The domain of function. So I have nothing to do, but it's simply finding the domain of for the given function. Since it is square root, the expression should be greater than or equal to 0. Second example. Which one of the following is the largest interval where the function f of x equals to log of x squared plus 5x plus 6 is continuous? A open interval minus 3 up to minus 2, B closed interval minus 3 up to minus 2, C minus infinity up to minus 2, D minus infinity minus infinity up to minus 3 union minus 2 up to positive infinity. So let's check the same thing as the example 1. The largest interval where any function is continuous means directly it is its domain. Therefore, domain of f of x, or which is the given type of function, is logarithm. So logarithm, the domain of the logarithm is positive real number. So the expression I have look over here should be greater than 0. Greater than 0. So this is quadratic, then factorable into x plus 2 times x plus 3, which is greater than 0, which is solving using the sign chart. The same is true for the above example as we have done. The same procedure. The same procedure. So if you factorable, x plus 2 is 0 at minus 2. X plus 3 is also 0 at minus 3. So I have different boxes and I feel this sign is minus, minus, then for the above one plus, second term minus, minus, but here plus, then multiplied, you have the int, or the third row, yeah, this one. So for which interval the function is greater than 0 instance, we need to be checked for the values which contain the positives, which mean that which is minus infinity up to minus 3, but excluded, because which is, it says the interval is already open interval. Why? Because it's greater than only. If it is greater than or equal to, you have used it closed as example 1, but this one is greater than only. It represents the open interval. Then minus infinity up to minus 3, and the other way is minus 2 up to positive infinity. Minus 2 up to positive infinity. Therefore, the largest interval where the given function is continuous is minus infinity up to minus 3, or minus 2 up to positive infinity. So our answer is E. Our answer is E. So if someone asks you the largest interval instance, you have to be check indirectly. You are going to use or find the domain of the function instance. So this is both of examples are somewhat special examples where we are going to be differentiate at which interval the given function is continuous. So